Morning, friends and family. John Miller, your Lake Stevens Realtor, coming at you here on Monday, May 10th of 2021. Hope everyone had a pleasant Mother's Day weekend. I went out and barbecued, took care of my wife and my mom. I had a good time, had nice eats all day. Everyone kind of relaxed. Nice, relaxing weekend. Okay, today we're going to ask a question here. Some tough buyer questions that I've received as of late. And these are good. There's nice pointed questions, and I will answer them as best as I can. This will probably be one of two parts, so here's part one. The first question I get from a lot of buyers: why are the owners selling? It's a good question. It's valid too. I can ask. There's many times I can guess or give you some conjecture, but at the end of the day, many times we simply won't know. The listing agent is under no obligation to tell me why their owner is moving, what their motivation is at all. Second question: how long has the home been on the market? That I can tell you. That's fairly easy. I can tell you if it's been in contract, if it fell out of escrow, anytime pretty much over the last, well, actually, I've got 10 years of data, but for the active listing, yeah, it goes back pretty much to the day of list. So that information I have very easily. Has the asking price changed? And that also is available. So I'm going to put that down. On the MLS, that I can tell you with no problem at all. Have they received offers? The answer to that one is I don't know. I can ask, but the seller's agent, if they're doing their job, they're not going to share that with me at all. There's a lot of it. Some of the information is confidential, some is not. That's something that, as a selling broker, I wouldn't, or as a seller's broker, I would not share with anyone who asked. Can I provide a valuation on a property that you've seen? The answer is absolutely yes. That is one of my functions representing buyers. If we find a property that we're really interested in, I will perform a very quick valuation on the property and tell you what I think it's worth. That's been a little problematic in this market just because we have so many premium buyers out there who are really pushing the prices up way over asking. When I provide a valuation, I'm basing it on data, basing it on the comparable sales. But the reality is that a lot of homes are selling way over asking, and unfortunately, that's just very difficult, if not impossible, to objectify. There's a few things we can use to guess, but unfortunately, that one it's a little bit more difficult. But I can provide you what I think it's worth, what it'll appraise for sure. Last question for this part: what is the price per square foot on the property? And that I can tell you with no problem. Now, that being said, there are caveats to price per square foot. I have a lot of people that really look very closely at that number. And to be honest, after 17 years of selling real estate, it's not as valid or it's not as relevant as most people will think. And the reason for that is really how price per square foot works out. When I look at a property, and obviously I can bring that number up that ratio up very easily, but it really is comprised of two parts. You have the home itself, and then you have everything else: the land, any other improvements, and those are things that are adding value but are not part of the square footage. You actually have two square footage. You have the land square footage, and you have the home itself. And then if you have obviously other properties that have a lot of other improvements, then you're going to have obviously a lot of other numbers you're dealing with. The only times I really use price per square foot is when I'm making an adjustment or when I'm imputing value. So, for instance, I'm looking at comparable sales and I need to adjust one based on square footage. It's maybe I don't have a whole lot of data. I've got one that's close, but the home it's materially larger, and I can make an adjustment to square footage or to that comparable by the price per square foot. That's pretty much the only time I use that ratio. I really don't look at it that often. I really don't use it that often. A lot of people really look at it, but bottom line, we don't sell houses by the pound, and that's really what we're doing when we're doing price per square foot. Moreover, again, the price per square foot is a blend of the home and the land. For example, because a lot of people say, well, it's this because of if they don't factor in the land. Well, here's the problem: if the smaller that house gets, if you have just vacant land, then the value zero. Well, that's obviously not the case. The land has value of its own. So anyway, those are my answers to those questions. If you have any questions specifically about those, obviously let me know. Interest rates on a 30-year fixed 2.96 has been pretty steady here over the last few weeks. A lot of people were really expecting that number to kind of creep up here as we go through the summer, but it's still phenomenally low. Anyway, wherever you are, stay safe and healthy. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.